talking about Pam in her experience working with me. So she booked my
Mhm.
VIP service and a done for you service where we collaborate for a 1 hour intensive and talk through what's the goal of the email sequence, what do you want it to do, what are some call to actions, and kind of getting some of the brand voice and also gathering the storytelling in order to help really resonate with your community. And so that is my VIP. And I was so happy to get connected with Pam last year so that we could work together on her email sequence. And so I'm just going to have some questions about what it was like working with me so other people can see and hear about your experience and see if it's something that they might be interested in as well. So first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to do this for
Yeah,
episode 2.
absolutely.
So what led you to me in terms of where you were in your
So
business at
again,
the
it
time?
was very critical on my first launch with my services that it runs smoothly, right? Not to perfection, but it ran smoothly. And so I knew I needed help, right, to do that. I wanted to make sure that I tell another side of me. You know, everyone knows the professional side of me, but I wanted to make sure that I also connected, right? And so when I began to write down some of the things, you know, that I wanted to make sure that I show on that side, I knew that, again, I wanted to connect with someone to help me, which was you, and you were referred, and you were the first person that the team member that I have mentioned. Um, your credibility was amazing. Not only that, your delivery of services was excellent, right? And so she told me all those things about you and how you're able to bring out that story for individuals who need help. And so when I reached out to you, of course, I was super nervous and sharing some things that I have never shared with other people, you know, the other side of me. And so I love the way that you were organized and you had everything set up for me to be able to easily be able to, you know, give you the information you need. And so another thing you were great at, not only on your organization side, but you were great with your time management, right? You were trustworthy and kept your word. So once you send me information over, I was able to gather the information and send it over to you. You quickly came back with a draft for me to take a look at to see, make sure that I was happy with what we, you know, talked about and how you were able to take my information and create those sequence emails for me. And so that just got me even more excited and I opened up even more. So one of the things I know was your gift and your talent is allowing people to feel comfortable and opening up to you. So I really appreciate that. That's an area where I have a struggle with, right? And so I just really appreciate how you were not only professional, but you also connect to me and allow me to feel comfortable to give you the information you need in order to be able to create what my desire was.
Thank you so much for that feedback. I always love hearing, from my clients. And I have to say, like, I'm so honored to be able to hear your stories and bring it to light for your community. And it's the same for all of my clients. Like, I am so honored to be able to be in that journey with them, to bring out the stories that will help resonate and connect and just show, kind of like what you're saying, like show the more personal side so
I
that
know
people can
it was
really
like
get to know
therapy.
you
I was like, is
more.
she
So
trying to
thank you.
get him? I mean, some of the questions were really, really great, right? You know, you dig deep inside of some of the things that, you know, I don't share. I usually don't share with people. Everyone knows, at least I thought people knew that I love books or candles or I don't know if you call it introvert. Some people think I'm an extrovert, but I'm really an introvert, right? So some of those things you brought that out, and I'm like, oh my God, is this therapy? And I was like, this allowed me, because I love journaling, this allowed me to even go a step further, right? With, you know, identifying some of the things where I can and grow in, and then I can be more open to, right? So that I can connect with my audience and my potential, you know, clients.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that, because about the self-discovery piece, because I feel like I do get that feedback from other clients who have booked my VIP, is that they feel like they discovered more of themselves through the process. and they feel even more confident with their messaging, with like their messaging when they're talking to their community. They feel like they feel more grounded in the stories that they want to share and tell. And they even have that time to reflect and think about, okay, how am I
Right.
presenting myself? To, might be who may be interested in working with me and the people I want to help. So thank you so much for bringing that self-discovery part up. And I feel like another piece of it, what you're saying is like the streamline piece. I thank you for saying that, because one of the pieces of the VIP is, I know you are all very busy. You've got a lot going on, and the VIP is created so that it's really minimal effort for my clients. And so there's just some like pre-work questionnaires that you had mentioned that you do. And then we hop on that 1 hour discovery session call where I kind of dig through the stories and the goals and all that. And we really flesh some things out. And then from there, you get to focus on whatever your zone of genius is, do whatever you want, even like kick back and relax if you want to, and fiercely typing away and creating the sequence so that at the end it brings it all together. And I think last year it was 2 days. Right now I have it at 3 days because preschool started.
Yeah, with your babies.
I needed yeah. I got my babies with me. So I'm glad you brought that piece up.
Yeah,
you are just joining
because
us.
the
Hello.
thing is, I think people don't realize organization is very important, and having an effective streamlined strategy is very important in any type of business, right? Even in my 9 to 5, most people, don't realize that you can implement whatever you create, you can implement that across the board, right? You just need to make sure that you tailor it as it relates to your different audience or the different clients that you service. So I think it's very important, and that was one of the things that initially that I captured head on when working with you.
So great to hear. So another question I have is, if you had any hesitations, what hesitations did you have about working with me?
One, because I felt like, I can do this myself. I don't have to get anybody to help me with that. But one of the things I also learned in the past is that, it's okay to delegate. It's okay to delegate and be able to hone and focus in on what's important, right? And so at the time, I had to make sure that I realized that I had to, understand that I need help. That's the same thing when it comes to, as a career coach, and individuals, professionals run into that wall of not understanding that sometimes it's okay to ask for help if you are repeating the cycle of not being successful, right? And so that's one of the things that I had to just come to terms and say, you know what, I do need to reach out for help. I do need to make the investment. So because at the end of the day, I wanted to be successful, right? And so I didn't want any barriers or blocks that was going to, stop me from being successful and making my launch, making that happen.
I think that's a really important step you're saying, is like, it's okay to ask for help. I mean, personally for me, that's something that I also I struggle with. You're not alone in that. I know a lot of us also deal with that, like wanting to do everything on our own, but being able to reach out for help and create something,
I totally agree. I mean, most people hire me as their coach, not only on the resume writing side, but as their career coach, they hire me for accountability, right? Because they realize that's the area where they need help with in order for them to successfully, achieve their goals, right? And not only that, it helps them to be able to push and think outside the box. That's one of the key things that's important. And I hear often from my clients, they're like, I never thought of doing it this way, or I never thought about, adding this resource or going back to get my degree, or taking this class, or even, going and having, your one-on-one sessions with your supervisor when it comes to goal setting, and making sure that you stay connected to the key people in your organization that will help you to be able to grow and develop. And so one of the things I just make sure that I think outside the box and allow my client to be able to, dream big, right? That's one of the things that most people don't do. They don't dream big. And so again, this goes hand in hand in how you streamline your strategy process when working with your VIP clients. When you send us that form, you allow us to think outside the box of the what if, and what if we can do this, or what if we can paint this picture, what would it look like?
Yeah, that is something that I really do with my clients, is having that perspective shift, just like how you have with your clients, is just thinking about your first, like what you're saying is dreaming big, and then also part of the questionnaires is asking questions that just make you think differently or think outside the box about you and your brand and where you're going with it, and how can we approach what you're trying to do with
Right.
growing your business. And so mentioning that piece. Okay, the next one is, what did you like best working with me in that process with the VIP?
I think the best part for me, because I tried to dibble and dabble in different, my hands and everything, I was able to release it to you, right? And to get off my to-do list. I knew that it was in good hands. I knew that you were going to take care of it. And so again, you being able to take that task and run full force, that brought happiness and joy to me, knowing that it was going to be taken care of, and I was still going to be successful, with the goal that I had in mind.
Yeah. And what kind of, like, how did you feel when you were able to just kind of like release the project?
Yeah, again, I felt relieved. And I felt excited too, because again, when you gave me the first draft and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's happening. And so, again, I felt super excited about the opportunity. It made me and inspired me to push even harder, to make sure that I complete that particular goal and to be successful. So yeah, it was really good. I was excited.
Hey, I'm so glad to hear that. And what did you get out of our project? Did it feel valuable to you?
Yeah,
Talk on that
I got a lot. One, again, it was this initially, what I got out of it. I love your process, and I probably took a couple of your processes when it comes to initiating and onboarding a client. That was one of the key things I really enjoyed, and I was really impressed by how you onboard me as a VIP client. The second thing, again, that I really enjoyed and I took away from it was the way that we were able to structure our time together, and how it was very valuable. You gathered the information quickly from me and got everything that you needed again, and then you were able to take that and go with it, right? You didn't have to come back and forth and go back and forth asking questions. You literally took everything and delivered it. Even the first time, I think we made maybe one tweak, and you were gladly and quickly did the tweak and sent it back to me. And not only that, one of the key things is very important to me, when I'm working with clients or if I'm working with others, is to make sure that you follow up. Follow up is so essential to your business, right? And that's one of the key things that I took notice immediately of, how you follow up with me more than one time, just to make sure, that everything was okay. Did I have any questions? Did I want to practice my launch with you? All those good things. Those are really great qualities and great ways of being able to, help your clients and making sure that they feel good and secure and know that you were able to, help me successfully. So those top three things were very important to me, and that's something that you delivered.
Yeah, and the piece about what you kind of saying about the feedback piece. So in the VIP, once I create the sequence, then there's a revision process. And for some people, like, the revision process can feel really daunting. But I don't know if you can speak to this, but did it just feel like it was pretty easy? Like, how are you feeling about
The
that
piece of filling out all the information?
Oh, no, the revision piece, like when I had sent you the first draft and then we were finalizing it.
Actually, it felt okay. It felt pretty good. It was straight to the point, right? You captured everything that I wanted to be captured. Of course, you came back to me and asked me for some additional information, so some plugins there that we kind of missed that it was on my behalf. But I think that process was really good, and getting the information back was really, really great. So I didn't have any problems with that at all. And the good thing is I can reuse it, right?
Yeah.
So the what you created is recyclable, right? I can use it again and again.
That is one of the beauties of the email sequence, is that you can use it again and again, and it doesn't lose that personal connection point with your email readers, because it's the way that we've set it up
Mm-hmm.
through storytelling, that human to human connection. And so when we automate it, it's not losing that
Yeah.
the human touch, which I think is really important to when you're automating things, not to lose that personal touch there. So I'm glad you brought that part up. So how do you feel about your business after our project? I know it's been a while since we did that project, about
Yeah.
more
So
than half a year ago,
half
I
a year
guess.
ago, life has taken some ups and downs, which is, that's nature, right? And so right now I'm in a point of reshifting my business. Right now I'm restructuring my business once again. It feels like I do this once a year. It's kind of like what works and what doesn't work, right? So right now we're in the process of continuing to make changes as it comes to the client's needs, right? The world has changed. Like I said, post the pandemic, and there are some other changes with the job markets for professional. Now it's on an upswing of professionals being able to, pick and choose what types of jobs they want versus, there being like, the job market was kind of hard and tough at the time because of those layoffs and all that stuff, and with the economy and the shift. But now it's on the upswing, right? So people are knowing, hey, I know I have options. I know I can negotiate my salary. I know there are platforms or people that I can connect with in order to get those opportunities. So, of course, my business right now, I am shifting the business and finding out exactly what those needs are for, for companies as well as, professionals. One of the key things oftentimes I have to remind people is that 85% of jobs are usually filled by word of mouth. And so that shifting my mind frame to understand that allows me to think, how can I move forward 5, 10, or 15 years from now with this company? Will resumes even exist, right? Interview coaching, how is that going to look 5 or 10 years from now? Career coaching, how is that going to look? Are people going to be, needing career coaching? Right? So how do I shift that? And so we're in that process right now and shifting the business as it relates to what does it look like 5 or 10 years from now. And so even though that's a little bit of work and a little bit of strategy that me and my team members are doing, but guess what? I want to make sure that I'm able to be the career resource, the one-stop shop for everyone. And so, of course, you got to make sure that you do whatever you can to stay relevant in this industry.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I do feel like it has shifted a lot, and I wonder how, all the remote working now is playing a part in how you're shifting your business.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
because think
all the
about it,
factors.
technology
I'm
now
sure
is
you're.
being hit. Who would have thought that the technology industry would be hit as of this year, right? Who would have thought that the high rise of healthcare, now healthcare is like up there. So, healthcare is doing really well versus technology is doing not so good, right? With the Microsoft layoffs, with Amazon laying off, all of these top companies that were up here, years ago, less than 5 years ago, now is shifting, right? And so as a business owner, you have to make sure that you pay attention to that and begin to, create a strategy plan, 5, 10, 15 years from now. What would it look like, right? And so you have to go from there.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that is really great insight that you have there with, what's going on right now. So I just want to catch if anyone is watching, jumping in right now, or if you were skipping around the replay, totally fine, get it. Um, If you want more value and insights and tips from Pam, she has a free Facebook group called Lunch and Learn with Coach Pam that you can go and check out on Facebook. And she has so many great insights, value, inspiration, and tips there. So we're kind of wrapping up a little bit right now. And I just want to check in with the time for you.
I
Are you
am.
okay on time? Okay, great. So last question, and then we're going to wrap up here. How have things changed for you since we've worked together?
Since we worked together, you're on my list when it comes to me refocusing and reshifting the business, right? Because there are a couple of products and services that I want to offer. And so, of course, that means that I have to make sure that I strategically plan, create a plan of action that's going to be successful. And so, of course, I go back and see what was successful in my past, who did I use for the project, and at the end of the day, how did it help bring me to, to the trajectory of where I really want to be. And so, I have a couple of things lined up. I will be, reaching out probably in March to you and others to help me to be able to launch this new product / services that I will be offering, again, to help professionals to be able to shift their minds and the way that they operate when it comes to jumping into the job market, helping them to be successful for those individuals who feel stuck, right? You probably feel stuck in your career, and you know that you need to be able to, you can do better, right? So you have those individuals who've been in a position or role for years, and it's time for them to get to the next level, but they feel stuck. They don't know what to do. So I want to make sure that I tap into those professionals and let them know with the step-by-step strategies that I've created that they don't no longer have to be stuck, right? I want to also be able to reach out to those individuals who are ready for a career change. And how can they successfully be able to transition into a new career by utilizing their skill set and their experience, as well as helping them to be able to build a network of people to get their foot in the door. There's so many different things that a lot of people need to realize, that the world is open. And so one of the things you have to realize, don't feel like you are stuck. You are not stuck. All it takes is for you to make one phone call, one email, to reach out to those individuals like myself who want to be able to see you make it to the next level in your career. Again, I offer free services in my Facebook group, my Lunch and Learn with Coach Pam, and my Facebook group. So make sure you join to get daily career advice. It's my one-stop shop. I show you how to be able to write a resume, how to be successful with writing a resume, right? I show you step by step on how to conduct a successful interview, along with making sure that you do not leave a dime on the table when it comes to your salary negotiation. And so these are things that I want people to understand, is that all you have to do is take the time out to ask. A closed mouth does not get fed. So if you don't open your mouth and say, hey, I need help, what can I do? If you don't take the time out and realize that you must make an investment in your future, in your career, a lot of my professionals that I give advice to and get help to, they're in their mid, 30s, 50s. And so you have a family you have to take care of, right? You have, at this age, sometimes you have your parents that you have to take care of. You got to make sure you start focusing on your retirement. And so I just don't stop in helping you get the job. I help you to be able to develop in your current role and taking you to the next level and making sure that you're conscious of how to create a better future, not only for yourself, but for your family.
I really appreciate how you do what you're saying, like the time of from beginning to future planning. And I absolutely appreciate what you do as a career coach and all the services that you have, because I know personally for me, I was in teaching for 15 years, and I did try leaving a few times due to the amount of stress that it was causing me. And I felt stuck. Like I couldn't do anything else. I didn't know what else I could do.
But you took your skills. You took your skill of writing. Yes. So you identified what you were good at. And so as as a coach, that's what I do. I help the
Yeah.
client identify what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are you good at? What do most people compliment you on, right? And they're like, oh, I never thought about that. And so some of my clients are coming to say, hey, Pam, I want to leave my job immediately. I can't stand the people I work with. They're not paying me what I'm worth. But as we dig deep into our coaching sessions, I discovered they really don't want to leave. They want to create their own. And so I've helped many, professionals be able to start their business, right? I had a principal who came to me and wanted to leave the school, but we discovered that she enjoyed helping teachers, early on teachers, pass their certification tests. And so now she has a business. She's been in this business 3.5 years. And the funny thing is, she came to me to write her resume. But as I tapped into it, I'm like, you don't want a resume. You want something else. I helped her think outside the box to dream big. And that's what she's doing now.
That's huge. I mean, that is absolutely invaluable if you can help them like think outside of the box, because I feel like for all of us, we kind of can get stuck in thinking, oh, this is my identity, this is who I am, this is all I can do. If I'm going to look for another job, I have to look in this industry because of all these reasons. But be able to, what you're saying is like, oh, I think this is a passion. We can follow that
Mm-hmm.
thread. Let's see where it takes us. That is so
Yep.
powerful. Thank you so much for doing it, Pam. Well, so we are wrapping up right now, and just definitely join Pam's free Facebook group, Lunch and Learn with Coach Pam. I'm in there too, and I think it feels like a very encouraging, inspiring, and super valuable space. So it's just a wonderful space that she created there.